Hi YouTube, it's Kathy, and this is my weekly entertainment wrap-up for October 8th through 14th. This week I read one book, I watched 2 shows, I watched 2 movies, and I listened to 1 book. This is Lottie. She's decided to join us, at least for this part of the video. I guess I should explain where I am, although if you've been here for a while you probably know I am visiting some family in the valley. We are actually going home today. We were supposed to go home earlier in the week, and then we decided to extend the trip just a little bit by coming up island instead of down island when we got back to the island. So that's where I am now, but that's not where I'll be at the end of the night. I say that like it's night now, it's first thing in the morning. Like the sun has risen, but you can't really tell it exists. The book that I finished this week is the Tea Dragon Tapestry. This is the 3rd in the Tea Dragon Society series, and it's so cute. I love this series so much. It's about a diverse cast of characters. Some of them are the caretakers to these tea dragons, which are little dragons that grow the things to make tea on top of their heads. It's just really cozy, really delightful. It's about people understanding their own worth and getting to know things and getting to know each other, and it's just so delightful. I'm so glad that I finally got around to reading this 3rd volume, because I realized pretty recently that I hadn't when I actually saw the Tea Dragon Society game in our local board game shop. And when I saw it, I was like, oh, this is adorable. I really love the art by this artist. I really love this story. It's really great. I need to read the 3rd one. And then Chad secretly went back and bought the game for me, so I'm really excited to play that. As for the shows I watched this week, we watched the first 2 episodes of The Fall of the House of Usher. This is based on work originally by Edgar Allan Poe, and I haven't really read any of his stuff besides The Raven, except for I don't even know if I actually physically read it because there was that Simpsons episode that did the entire poem, so I'm pretty sure I read it at least once, but it's definitely in my brain because of The Simpsons. In any case, I know enough about Poe's work to see little nods to his work within this series, and it's going to be really interesting to see how it plays out. Essentially, we're at the end of a tale, and then this character is taking us back to 2 weeks ago when things really all started, but also taking us back to the 50s where things really all started. And it's all about the fact that he's at the top of this empire of this company that creates a drug that everybody uses for pain management, but it's definitely not actually that good for you. And he finds out there's an informant somewhere in the family. Now, he has 6 children by 5 women, so he's got quite a family, and he's trying to figure out who is the informant. And it's just such an interesting, dark tale, and I'm really excited to see who it ends up being, if anyone. There's also supernatural factors at play, so anything could happen. Funnily enough, the other show I watched, just an episode of last night, is a Treehouse of Horrors episode from The Simpsons. The one from last year, I believe. I hadn't seen it before, and it's always fun to watch these. There was actually a time, I think in 2020, where we sat down over a couple of days and just watched all of them up until that point, because this was episode 33, because they didn't do a Treehouse of Horrors in the first season, so there are a lot of them. It takes some time. They're always a fun time. As per normal, it had 3 different vignettes. One of them was based on Death Note, one of them was based on the Babadook but called something different, and then I can't remember the 3rd one off the top of my head, but they were all entertaining. As for the movies we watched, again last night, you'll see a little bit of a pattern. The first one was Muppets Haunted Mansion. This was delightful because obviously there's a bunch of in-jokes. If you've ever been to the Haunted Mansion, you'll see little things here and there. And then as soon as I saw one certain actor show up, I was like, oh, there's gonna be at least one musical number, because why else would he be here? And then there was another musical number, and I was like, oh, I guess that this actor can actually sing. And then he sang, and I was like, oh, I guess he can't. It's okay. For us, that was actually just a prelude up to watching Haunted Mansion, the movie that just came out this year. I haven't seen the previous one with Eddie Murphy. I always meant to get around to it just because I love the Haunted Mansion. I think it's one of the coolest attractions at Disney. But this one also had an amazing cast. I really enjoyed seeing Rosario Dawson again. That was great. Danny DeVito's in this. Like, there were just a bunch of really cool people in this. It was an interesting story. It was interestingly shot, and I thought it was pretty good. The book that I listened to this week is The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston. A funny story about this book is at the beginning of this year, when I was in England, we were walking through one of the very small towns around where my friend Joey lives, and they have one of those classic red phone booths that they've changed into a free little book library type of thing. So I opened that up and I was looking through it, and I didn't want to take anything simply because I was traveling with just a backpack for 3 months and I didn't want to pick up books. However, while I was in there, I did find a copy of this book, and I had never heard of it before, even though I've read some other things by Ashley Poston before. So I kind of put that in the back of my brain. I didn't even really look at get what it was about. I was just like, this exists and I'm going to want to read it at some point. And that some point was last week because I finally read it. This book is about a woman who is the ghostwriter to a very famous author. She's actually written her last 4 books. They've all been really big hits, but she can't really tell anybody that she's the writer for this person because she signed a bunch of NDAs and all of that. She writes in the romance genre, however, about a year ago her boyfriend completely destroyed her belief in love, so she's really wanting this last book on her contract to not be a romance. However, it's under a romance imprint, so when she meets her new editor, who she doesn't think knows that she's actually the ghostwriter because she's Anne's assistant, she's like, can this be a different genre? And he's like, no, and the manuscript is due tomorrow, so Anne better get on that. So she's freaking out because she has to fix this situation, and then she gets a call from back home and realizes she actually has to go back to her small town she hasn't been in for about 10 years. And the reason she hasn't really been home is because she used to be bullied, because when she was a kid she actually helped solve a murder by talking to the murder victim's ghost. What I really love about this is how many layers of ghost is in this. She's a ghostwriter, she talks to ghosts. There's definitely a ghost that she talks to a lot in this for reasons. But then it's all steeped in this bookish culture and what it's like to be a writer and be a ghostwriter. Have these difficulties and finding out what her ex did to her, and it was just really good. I very much enjoyed my time with this book. That's it for this week. If you've read, watched, or listened to any of these, let me know about it down in the comments below. On the way down to the comments, if you hit that subscribe button, that would be very nice of you. If you don't feel like leaving a comment but want to make sure that I know you were here, just leave me an emoji or a smiley face if you happen to be on your keyboard. Some people have asked if there's a way to financially support this channel, so I set up a Ko-fi account, which is a digital tipping service. The link for that, as always, is down below. You can like and share this as you see fit, and I will see you very soon. Bye!